welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the match preview segment for Everton's second fixture of the resumed Premier League campaign, which is away to Norwich City at Carrow Road. I'm James, and to go over that with me, I've got my partner in crime, Terry McAllister. Terry, how are you feeling going into this one? Obviously, I think everyone's mood's been lifted by the fact that we didn't get absolutely whacked by Liverpool, but obviously that's a different game. You're talking about the team top of the league. We're going into this one against the team who are bottom of the league. How do you see this going?
It's hard to really know what to think because everything's so different now. It's you can't really go into games now, with confidence. So we got a draw against the team at the top of the league, so we're going to go against the team that are at the bottom of the league, and that should be easy. We'll beat them with at a canter. It won't work like that. Like these games coming so quick, one after the other, and after having so long off, I think we're going to get some strange results, and it will come down to who's the most prepared and who's the fitter team. So clearly in the Liverpool game, Liverpool were not fit. Now neither were Everton, but we were a lot fitter than I expected, considering we'd had.
I was very pleasantly surprised by how our fitness levels looked, given that we were playing Liverpool, and we held out very well. And if anything, we looked the stronger later on, which is a good sign. To be fair, it says a lot about maybe what Carlo Ancelotti's doing behind the scenes. I don't know if you've seen any of the Norwich stuff from their last game.
I did. Who did they play? I did watch it. It was at Southampton.
Southampton, yeah. They took a 3-0 beating, like it was a pretty heavy beating they got.
Yeah, I did watch that, and as I say, a fitness thing really did play into it, because I think that there was a lot of rustiness from Norwich, and it made Redmond and Ings look like they were absolutely rapid, because the Norwich players obviously weren't up to scratch fitness wise. So the players with natural pace and natural with natural bursts in their game, really stood out. Now, if we can do something similar with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, then hopefully we could get similar joy. And I'm not sitting here, saying, oh well, I'm scared that Norwich, after having that game, will now suddenly, their fitness will have dramatically improved. But it's more a case of you don't know how much the Liverpool performance will took out some of our players. It's very difficult to go into any game with 100% confidence, or to be completely worried, because we did a lot better than a lot of people expected against a very good Liverpool team. So it really will just depend on what condition some of the players are in, what team we pick. I mean, there's a very good chance we'll rotate, given the shift that some of the players put in against Liverpool. Maybe not heavy rotation where we suddenly see a half a team change, but I think one or two faces could come in, and certainly there'll be more substitutions and earlier substitutions in this game than we saw against Liverpool. So it just depends, really. It's very hard to predict, which is making these preview videos a little bit hard to do.
But it's, believe it or not, it's time for me to use probably the buzzword of the coronavirus lockdown: unprecedented. And it's an unprecedented scenario that we can't really figure out. We've never really had back-to-back Premier League games on a regular basis like this, and certainly not so early in the season off the back of next to no pre-season, if you know what I mean. So we can expect a lot of rotation, but what sort of players do you think might drop out of the team who maybe got a start against Liverpool?
Well, I certainly couldn't see any of the, injuries permitting. I certainly couldn't see any of the back four or the keeper changing. Midfield, possibly. I think Anthony Gordon might come out, and you could see possibly Sidibe come in. I think what we saw against Liverpool was a team that was set up which probably had Sidibe in mind. Shields and Seamus Coleman with Iwobi on the left rather than the right, like he was in the derby. But who knows? Andre Gomez could come out. He didn't have the best of games. He certainly, didn't do anything particularly wrong, but he was a little bit wanting at times. We could see maybe Fabian Delph come in.
Is Delph fit?
I don't know. Mina and Delph were apparently touch and go for the Liverpool game, so they could come in for the Norwich game. I would like to think that we wouldn't make too many changes if we didn't have to, because it was such a good performance against Liverpool. Obviously, there'll be a lot more expected of the wide players to contribute creatively against Norwich than there will have been against Liverpool. I certainly think Iwobi will have more, onus on him to, get involved in the attack and play than he did, because he won't be playing against Sadio Mane this time, with all due respect to Norwich. So I don't know. I could see maybe 2 changes. Maybe Sidibe in for Anthony Gordon, and then you might see someone come in to midfield. I'm not, but I would certainly suggest that none of the back 5 would lose their place if fitness permits.
Yeah, certainly. I think we'll do our utmost. It'll be the midfield, I think, that will see the most changes. We'll do our utmost to keep a bit of consistency in the lineup. It's an odd one, though, because obviously it's only 3 days between our first game back after a long layoff, and it does make you wonder. Norwich have had a slightly longer rest than we've had. They played on Saturday. Could that have any kind of impact on it?
Could do. I mean, I think you'll see that a lot over these next 8 games. You'll see, not just us either, you'll see teams who've had a slightly longer rest might have a little bit of an edge over the others, because fatigue and tiredness and fitness will play such a huge part. Everyone's saying they're expecting the teams with the bigger squads with quality depth to have an edge. Well, that'll be just the same with the extra days rest. You'll see teams flag later in games if they've had a day less, and hopefully that doesn't happen to us. But there'll be a couple of things I think we'll see. Even if we don't change the lineup, I think the subs will come a lot earlier. Clearly in the Liverpool game, I don't think Ancelotti was looking to make many subs. He probably wasn't planning to make any that he didn't have to. But I think this time we probably will. I think you'll see Moise Keane introduced a lot earlier, just to either give one of the front 2 a little bit of a breather, or maybe we could put Richarlison back out on the right again, depending on how the game's going. But
yeah, it's good to have that kind of flexibility, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it could be too early to be thinking about making multiple changes. I don't know, but I would not be shocked if we were to see some strange rotation. If we suddenly at one point we're gonna see a team sheet and there'll be Calvert-Lewin just won't be playing, and he'll be fit, and everyone will lose their head, because that's just the way something we've got to do. We'll be the same with Holgate. You remember against Palace when Mina didn't start, and he put Michael Keane with Holgate, and everyone has a meltdown. So I think Carlo's going to do more of that. He'll drop players out of the blue, and it'll just be to maintain fitness, to keep everyone as fresh as possible, because it's going to be difficult with all these games.
I mean, the good thing is, it's not a good thing because we got knocked out the FA Cup, but it's a cup weekend after the Norwich game, and we've got a bit of a rest before our game after, which I think is Southampton. I'm not 100%, but
I don't know.
I should have done my homework before I come on here and said all this, but I think having that week's rest might help us a little bit, and maybe just gives us a bit of a license to go for it a bit harder against Norwich. I'm not sure. I don't think Norwich is still in the cup, are they?
Not sure. Yeah. We're so prepared on this. I didn't prepare for anything past the Liverpool game. That's all I could see.
Yeah, to be fair, I've been hiding behind my couch and muting everyone on social media, waiting to get that derby out the way.
Something else about the fatigue as well. It's meant to be the hottest day of the year on Wednesday. It's be 26 degrees, so that could play a big part, because those drinks breaks, I'm sure, will be a lot more appreciated in temperatures like that compared to the heavy rain of Sunday.
Certainly. I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how we can make the most of those drinks breaks as well.
It definitely helps if you're on the back foot, because it breaks the game up. When Liverpool in the second half were having the long spell of possession, whilst that was, by design, by us, we were happy to let them have the ball and try and hit them on the break. That, drinks break, it does, it upsets the rhythm. Now, if you're a team that's going to be, on the ball a lot more, which I suggest we will be on the ball more in the Norwich game than they were in the Liverpool game. Might be something you don't want to happen because it upsets, your flow. But I think at 26 degrees, after 3 days after the derby, I think every little breather will be welcome. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? I mean, there's looking at the bench we had, I don't think we're going to see as many kids as we expected, barring, it being forced into it. I think we'll see Baines, we'll see, Moyes, Keane, what have you, but we won't see any other than maybe Gordon and possibly Branthwaite. I can't see us using a lot of the new faces that we haven't seen a lot of yet.
Of course, Norwich beat Everton, didn't they, in November in the deepest, darkest abyss of the Marco Silva era. And yeah. I mean, it coined the classic phrase, your man Sadibi, get over and whatnot. But there's plenty of memories, good and bad, from that game. Obviously, the lasting thing is that we got beat off a side bottom of the league at home, and it was probably the lowest ebb of our season, if you ask me. The club was absolutely lost at the time. What's changed since then? Obviously, Ancelotti's come in, but what do you think the difference will be now in the team? Obviously, what can we expect? We surely can't perform that badly again, can we?
Yes, you'd hope not. Well, that game, the spine of the team was, well, it's just, considering after the Liverpool game, this is going to seem quite harsh, but the spine of the team was Michael Keane, Morgan Schneiderlin, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Cenk Tosun in the 4-2-3-1. Now, maybe a little bit harsh to include Keane in there after the Liverpool game, but Schneiderlin, Sigurdsson and Tosun in a 4-2-3-1 as the spine was walking football. They were so slow. They just offered little to nothing. Obviously, the famous Cliff Sidibe didn't have a very good game at all. Iwobi came on and went on the right and didn't have a very good game at all. It was just an awful day at the office. I was sitting in the lower Bullens for this game, which I don't usually. And Schneiderlin was having a running battle with the stand because every time he got it, he'd pass sideways or backwards. And he got on his back at one point to pass forwards, and he put the brakes on when he was about to pass to the fullback, moved the other way and passed it forward, and then shot the crowds a look. As if to say,
how'd you like that, eh?
Yeah, but he didn't ping a great pass. He just changed his mind from the direction he was going to pass, which obviously was backwards, and passed slightly forwards, and then looked as if to say, all right, like that.
Happy now.
John Stones calmed down to the park end moment.
Not on a level top. That infuriated me from John Stones.
Like the Norwich game was terrible, but now, there's some players who've come to the fore since then. Like Mason Holgate was in the team, but he's really kicked on since then, form-wise. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have made themselves a partnership. Andre Gomez, was he injured at that point? I don't know. I can't remember. But there's a new air about the team, like not just Ancelotti, like the fact we're playing 4-4-2 is just a big deal because 4-2-3-1 was what was on everyone's lips at the time because it was not working.
It was the word that it was the formation you didn't want to see. And
no,
I never want to see it again. After the number of managers who've subjected us to it.
No, exactly. I mean, 4-4-2 suits who we've got at the minute, and it'll work even better when we get better players. But that's the biggest thing for me. We've got players playing in a more comfortable formation for the most part, and it's brought about really good form for them. I mean, if we had a front two of Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison like they are now against Norwich at home earlier in the season, I think we could have won that game because Norwich just did a really organised job on us and we just didn't threaten them with anything because we were too slow. Cenk Tosun up front offering nothing.
On that note, what can we expect from Norwich this time?
Don't know. I would have told. I mean, before the lockdown, I might have told you, but now it's hard to predict, isn't it? I mean, Todd Cantwell's a good player. We're going to have to be good in midfield again. Like we did a job on Sadio Mane with Coleman, and it won't be helping him. I think we'll have to play, due attention and care in marking and tracking Todd Cantwell, because he's the player who makes things happen for Norwich. Pookie needs a goal so you can put your house on and finally getting one against Everton. We're starting this game 1-0 down as far as I'm concerned, because whenever a striker needs a goal, play Everton, as everyone knows. But Cantwell's the one to watch for me. Obviously, he's not quite Mane's level, but I think he'll require that sort of special attention the same way Mane did. If you can smother him out the game, you've got them. You might have to beat Norwich.
It's definitely a good point. He is kind of the focal point for most of their attacks, and he scored, of course, against us in that infamous game in November. So all the more reason to keep tabs on him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be massive if we can build on what was a good point against Liverpool and get a win. Not only is that an away win, but we'll get 4 points from the first 2 games back before we go into a rest. And imagine the atmosphere in the camp. There'll be a buzz. Everyone will be like, right, we're back and we're playing well. If we were to lose to Norwich, it might puncture the enthusiasm a little bit and go, oh, what a stop-start return we've had. Got a point against Liverpool but lost to Norwich, and it's just about getting those away wins, because what the Bundesliga and the Premier League so far have shown, that behind closed doors, home form doesn't exist, because there's a massive swing towards away victories compared to what it's normally like. So
we have seen that to an extent in the Premier League in the first weekend back.
Well, I was really worried, because I was petrified we might do a Schalke, come back and just be absolutely terrible, because every game feels like an away game, and we're not good away from home anyway. But the performance we put in against Liverpool has made me more relaxed about the prospect. It might be that we're actually much better away from home now, because there's no crowd, that it could lead to us having an upswing in form. It's still early days to see the way, but it'd be great to get go into that weekend where we're free, the first little break we're going to have for a while, and we've got 4 points on the board and an away win. It'd just be brilliant.
Well, let's not forget, we talk about our fans being crucial to us doing well at home, but there's other teams that are even more reliant on their fans to do well, and it's particularly sides who are below us in the table. Teams like Norwich, that could be a benefit to us, and hopefully it will be, because they played at home, of course, against Southampton the other day and got a bit of a hammering in the second half. Do you think it's going to be a game that will be won in the second half?
Yeah, I think they all are. They
all feel that way, don't they?
Yeah, because that's when fitness tells, and Norwich were killed by pace, and that's what you've got to bank on with Everton, that we've got some pace and some quality up front with our 2 strikers. If you can get through to the second half against any team, then like against Liverpool, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin started to give them real problems as the game went on. Everyone was sort of banking on, well, the last 20 minutes is when Liverpool are going to start, turning the screw, and teams get tired.
Goal,
Yeah, well, that's a fair comment, but the opposite happened in the derby, because Everton were like resolute and defensive for 70 minutes, and then Lovren comes on and our eyes light up, and then we start playing off him, and the pace of our strikers started causing, which is funny, it started causing a freshly subbed player problems. You'd think that the players who'd been on all game would have been struggling, but it was Lovren who was having, the worst time of it of any of their players.
I was saying this to my dad today, actually. I mean, how is he still at Liverpool, given how far they've come?
He's there schneidling. He's too expensive. He's on 100 grand a week, and they gave him that when that was more than it is now. Still not a small amount now, but they make a lot more money now than they used to, and they can't get rid of him. I mean, he's only a 4th choice centre back, but right now all your whatever choice players are playing a part. They had 2 defenders or 2 of their back 4 come off with pulls or tweaks or what have you. So you're going to have to use players like that. And my mate texted me while the game was going on, and he said, and he just dreaded it. He went, "Oh no, if you're going to win, it'll be his fault." And then obviously when we started playing on him, I was like, "Yeah, if we're going to win, it'll be through him." And that was the first analogy I thought of. When he's there schneidling, he's an expensive
flop,
absolute lump who other teams can, play on. The amount of times we've seen Schneiderlin just not tracking his man, and then the midfielder scores that he's not following.
Well, that Campbell goal against Norwich was actually because of him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lovren is there, one of them, and that's what I think's going to happen in most Premier League games, and certainly will happen in Everton games if we're going to get, if I think our wins will come like that as the game goes on. Hopefully our strikers, whether it be Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, or even Moise Kean, if he comes on, who's quite fast and strong himself, could be ideal for them. Like start hitting teams on the break with pace, or start getting in behind as teams start to flag. I think that's what we're going to go for. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we set up similar against Norwich as we did against Liverpool.
And let's not also forget that Norwich, it's not like Norwich is 16th or 17th, the bottom of the league. There's still a couple of points adrift. They need to win. They'll have to play for the win. They can't just sit back, maybe like they did at Goodison in November.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and plus if you're Norwich, you're not going to look at this as we're cut adrift and dead and buried, because they might have done if everything was normal, but they could look at this going, this could all change with 8 days of 8 days passing. You could play 3 games in that time if you win all 3.
Be out the drop zone.
The teams around them are dropping points themselves. That they will look at it as going, we can work this to our advantage. We can win games and change the makeup of the table very quickly. This other than the first and second place, this whole table is not going to look like what it would have looked like. I could see Sheffield United finishing bottom half at this rate, considering they were probably going to get in the Champions League before it stops. It's a shame for them, but everything's different. You can't bank on nothing because, well, Brighton are beating Arsenal, and it's only Arsenal now, but there's going to be some shock results.
Well, let's just hope we're not one of them on Wednesday.
Yeah, true. I mean,
though having said that, Alan Smith said that Norwich should expect to beat us.
Did he?
Alan Smith, yeah, he did.
I don't care. We never get any credit off to pundits anyway, so I've stopped trying, hoping for any. Don't care. I hope they slate us every single week, and
then we beat them and prove them wrong.
Yeah, I don't care. I honestly
don't
care.
Mean, to be fair, if I'm very similar, I'm getting fed up of pundits more and more every time I watch football now, and if anything, it's just another excuse for you guys to tune into the Toffee Blues and watch us talk.
Exactly. At least,
I'm a better kind of rubbish, at least.
Well, they're all biased and haven't got a clue, and so am I.
And we're biased and I haven't got a clue.
I'm biased and I haven't got a clue, but I'm biased for Everton, so you pick your poison. I know about as little as they do. I know I'm as stupid as they all are, but at least I'm pro Everton and they're not.
Yeah, and I mean, that makes all the difference. But as they say, those who understand need no explanation. Those who don't matter.
Well, Sky were taking it very seriously. The one Evertonian is where 20 Liverpudlians quote, because they literally had 20 Liverpudlians.
Yeah.
Tim Cahill was fighting our corner against everyone.
Don't even get me started on John Barnes.
John Barnes. Kelly Cates needs Dalglish. The actual Kenny Dalglish. Everyone.
He was picking a snout in the stands.
I know. I'm surprised the badge man fella wasn't there, or the guy who runs Boss Nights.
Oh God. No, we had a saxophone. We don't have time for guitars.
Oh God.
But but even to the very point of you saying one's worth 20. I mean, Tim Cahill's got more derby goals than any of them players put together. So it turns out.
Has he?
Yeah, I think he's got like 5 or 6, and I think only John Barnes really scored many in derbies. I
was going to say, I know he wasn't a punter, but we're clearly not including Kenny Dalglish in that. I think he had more.
Oh no, we're referring to the goons who Sky had standing pitch side.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I'm surprised at Barnes. I before my time, but I would have assumed he had loads, but whatever. Surprised he's even getting work with his what showed up on his camera roll.
Well, maybe just needs someone to catch on to it a little bit. It seems to be a very football Twitter thing at the moment, but you never know. His career could be in the mud if that gets out.
Definitely.
Right, we'll finish up here anyway. We'll go with our score predictions. What do you think for Norwich versus Everton?
I'm going to go. I mean, I've spent about 20 to 30 minutes saying it's hard to know. I don't know. No one can know. But I'm going to predict an Everton win. And I'm going to go for 1-0, just because I can't see there being loads of goals considering the way the games have gone, or at least our game went. But I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna guess and I've no idea, I'm gonna guess that we win. Why not? 1-0 with a name Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal.
Oh, very nice. Well, I'm going to carry that unanimously because I would add a 1-0 win in mind as well. I think it's going to be a tight one. We would have to play it carefully, but I think we should be decent enough to get the win here. I'm not sure who'll get the goal from me. If you're going to say Calvert-Lewin, I'll say Richarlison. So at least we've got a bit of a variety there.
I mean, it's going to be one.
And that's as much variety as you get as far as goal scorers at Everton these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like it to be someone else, just to see what it feels like, but I can't see it.
Yeah, I want to imagine the scenes. Who's going to stick at top bins? Just like a Wobie or someone. Like after being like the sort of scapegoat for the derby comes back. And
I know. I'm glad. I'm glad we're not going to go to penalties for the rest of the season, because once those two have stepped up, and probably Leighton Baines, I don't think anyone else has hit the target for months, have they?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Sigurdsson's took a pen, but he missed loads last season, so he's still going to be biting your nails, whatever way you look at it.
Yeah, sooner have Pickford on pens than him. After that one he hit it for England.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's probably better than most of the team.
Yeah, probably.
Right, there you have it, guys. That's the match preview for Norwich versus Everton. Let us know what you think. Let us know your prediction for the game and how you think the game's going to go. And are you feeling optimistic? Or are you feeling like your typical Everton fan, even after we've done all right against Liverpool? Just let us know what you think going into this one on Wednesday. Give us a like as well and give us a subscribe for more great content. If you're fed up of hearing Sky pundits put Everton down constantly, come on here for some totally impartial stuff. So yeah, give us a subscribe as well, and thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.